In this final installment of tutorials on intermediate data visualizations with Tableau, we're going to explore how to add custom shapes. So you'll first need to follow the steps in the pictograph section. So we'll set up our chart and I'll walk through the steps here in Tableau, and then I'll show you how to add a custom shape. Now, I've already downloaded a custom shape, and I'll show you where you need to move that shape file, that image file, to in your computer so that Tableau recognizes it. So let's go ahead and set up our chart in the same way that we did for the pictograph. Instead of just using color or the pre-built-in icons, we'll use the custom icon that I'll upload and show you how to upload in just a moment. So again, just to refresh your memory, or if you haven't seen the pictograph video, let me walk you through this. So we're using the second data set, which is the data set on birch bark canoes built by Native American communities and held in museums around the world, primarily in North America. So we're first going to take our ID variable, which provides a unique identifier for each individual canoe. We're going to drag that over to detail. Just as we saw in the pictograph tutorial, that will give us a little blue rectangle, one for each of the canoes in our data set. So you can see there are a total of 54. Then the next thing we're going to do is we want to actually convert these rectangles to a specific shape. So right now on the marks, this is an automatic generated icon here. It's just a simple square. So we actually want to change that from automatic to shape. So go ahead and select shape. And then you'll note that a shape card appears here on the marks panel. And our shapes have now converted to little circles. So the next thing that we need to do is, once you've downloaded your shape and saved it as a PNG or an SVG file, we're going to save that file in a very specific place so that Tableau can access it. Now, generally, Tableau automatically creates a repository for you when you download Tableau Desktop in your Documents folder. So go ahead and navigate to your Documents folder, and you'll see My Tableau repository there. Go ahead and enter that folder, and then you'll see a Shapes folder. So once you've found that Shapes folder, go ahead and open that. And I would suggest creating a custom folder here. You can label it whatever you'd like. So I'm going to create a new folder. I'm just going to call it custom so that I know that that's where my unique image files will be, the ones that I have added myself. And then you'll move your image file into that custom folder. So generally just drag and drop will work on most computers. Once you have saved that in there, then go to your shape card and select more shapes here at the bottom. So here are the default shapes. It's selected the first one, which is the circle. We're going to, you probably don't see custom yet. So the first thing that you'll want to do is click Reload Shapes, and it will pull from that folder, the shapes folder that I just showed you, and you'll be able to see your custom. Oh, in fact, I'm gonna have to pause. So now I've added the icon to the custom shapes folder that I created. Once I click Reload Shapes, you'll see that that custom folder is now there, and there's one icon in it. So once you select that from the palette, you'll see that because this is data related to birch bark canoes, I have uploaded an icon of a canoe. So I'm going to go ahead and select that, click Apply, and OK. So now if I want to see how many canoes were built by different cultures, I can move affiliated culture to rows, and that will populate that information here. And now we can see how many canoes were built by each, at least that we know of. And these icons are really tiny. So I'm going to go to the size card on marks and use that slider to increase the size of the canoe images. Now notice that an ellipsis appeared here because I went a little too big, so it couldn't show them all. So I'm going to decrease the size just a bit. And the other thing we can do, again, is we can adjust how our data fits the frame. So go to the drop down for fit, or if you're on Tableau Public, it looks like a rectangle with measurement bars around it, and select fit. And then for this, I'm going to say entire view. So that will allow me to extend the data values all the way to the bottom of my worksheet. And then I also want to increase the size of the font here. So go to Format and then Font. And I'm going to go to rows because I actually want the culture names to appear a little bit larger to make them easier to read. So right now they're only at a 9-point font. So I'm going to bump those up to 11. You can also change the font style by taking a look at all of the different fonts built into Tableau here. So right now it's Tableau Book. I think that looks fine. We'll just stick with that. All right, last step, of course, is to give our worksheet a title, our visualization a title. So this is number of canoes by culture. Go ahead and click OK. And again, we want to name our sheet. Okay, so let's go number by culture, and that'll be our worksheet title here in our tabs below. So I remember what this visualization is. I'm going to go ahead and minimize my data pane so that you can see the visualization in larger detail. It will probably look more like the version that you see here on the left. But again, because I've split my screen, you're only seeing half the screen filled with Tableau. So thank you for joining me for this series of tutorials. I'll look forward to seeing you next time.